everyone, I am Brianna and welcome to my channel. I am so glad that you're here. Today's video is going to be homeschool related. I thought that it would be fun to show you inside the Thanksgiving unit from Gather Round Homeschool. I have the teacher's guide, the pre-reader student book, the early elementary student book, and the upper elementary student book that I want to flip through. So let me turn the camera around and we can get started. I have everything printed out and hole punched and put in this binder. I thought that it would be better to keep everything all together in one spot. So I have the teacher guide, 2 of the pre-reader student books, early elementary and upper elementary. And so my thought and what I will do is read the lesson from the teacher guide, but then also come over to the student books and say we're on lesson 1. Well, I'll just go ahead and grab lesson 1 out of there and give them the sheets. Once they're done with them, they'll give them back to me and I'll put them right back in this binder. That way everything stays all together and none of the papers get lost. Sometimes I do get these books spiral bound at like Office Depot or something, but since this was a smaller unit, it's just for Thanksgiving, I thought that it would be best if I just printed it out and put it in the binder. Now, I also want to mention, I didn't use a high quality printer paper. I just used basic paper that I had on hand. Usually I'll go out and buy a higher pound of paper and you can tell the quality is so much better. There's not as much shadowing on the page, but since it was a smaller unit, I felt like it was okay to just use regular paper. Okay, let's get right into the flip. She starts out writing us a little letter, a welcome letter. We have a detail of the student books and how old, like a guesstimate range of how old they should be. Let's see if I can get that closer. Okay, so I feel like that's helpful just to gauge, well, what book should I get for my students? How long it should take for their lessons, supplies that you'll need. And then she gives us a Thanksgiving at a glance, which I don't really use these pages. It is neat to have, especially if you are using all of Gather Round. And so I have my planners, and my homeschool planner that I write in. So I won't need to utilize these pages, but if you wanted to, you can detail events that are happening that month, your family traditions, movies that you want to watch, books that you want to read, and then you can add anything extra that you want on here. She even has a guest list for actual Thanksgiving Day, what you're going to be eating. And then she has a planner here that is Sunday through Saturday. And I am guessing you could use this as, okay, if Thanksgiving is on a Thursday, what should we do to get ready for people to come over or for that day, and assign it to certain people and their task. They are giving the free MP3 download for the teacher's guide, which is really neat that they did that. I feel like it is fun when someone else can read the lessons to them because, they hear my voice all day long. So something kind of fresh is always welcomed. Then we have our passage that we're going to be memorizing. It's Psalm 100, 1 through 5. Table of contents. And then we go right into lesson 1. And we have lesson 1 being the bigger picture. Lesson 2 is Canadian Thanksgiving. Lesson 3 is US Thanksgiving. Lesson 4 is what it's all about. All right, lesson 1, the bigger picture. We're going to talk about the holiday of Thanksgiving. It looks like she has different areas of the world and probably what they do. To be honest, I have not read through all of this. I have flipped through it, but I'm excited to go through this with my kids. At the end of each lesson, they give you kind of a breakdown of what is on each page of the student guide, as well as some answers. And it's broken into different categories. So the early reader, early elementary, this is what they're going to be doing, and these are the answers. upper elementary, middle school, and high school. It is nice that these are at the back of the lesson because I remember when we first started Gather Round, these would be at the back of the teacher guide. So you had to constantly flip back to look at stuff instead of it being right there after your lesson. So I do enjoy having it right after the lesson. Here's lesson 2, and she talks about Canadian Thanksgiving, their traditions. Well, maybe not theirs specifically, but Canadian traditions. And then it's the same at a glance. Lesson 3 is U.S. Thanksgiving. And then some facts. She has the day at a glance and the answers for the student books after that. Lesson 4, what it's all about. And then your day at a glance. Then we have the appendix. She has these little thankful cards, and you use them on lesson 3, as well as cutouts for your thankful jar craft and your leaves that you can write what you're thankful for on. I'm actually excited to do this. I've never done a thankful tree before, and so that'll be really neat to do that with my kids. And it was really nice to see that she added in some recipes. Now, I do not know if these are her personal recipes or where she got them. I haven't heard. So if you know, let me know down below. But she added in some pie recipes, and we will definitely be trying some of these because in the student book, we have baking days. Now, there are 2 movie discussion guides, Miracle on 34th Street and A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. And what these are, they are timestamps so you can have a conversation about these movies while you're watching them. So I think that's a really neat thing that she added. Okay, that is the teacher guide. Now we have the pre-reader. So I'm only gonna flip through one because I do have 2 printed out because I have 2 pre-reader students. But what it starts out with is a coloring page. And then we have the passage that we're going to learn. So this was also in the teacher guide. And lesson 1 starts with language arts and geography. So you map it, you color it, and then you spell it. And then at the end, you're going to have your child draw an interesting fact of what they learned that day. Now, if you're familiar with Gather Round, their student books are always like this. Where you have a map and you're coloring something and you're making sure that you're remembering an interesting fact. Then we get into Bible and art, then social studies. You're gonna draw a picture of what Thanksgiving looks like for your family, and then talk about traditions that you have. We have home economics, so try a recipe, and then language arts and art. We're gonna look at an art picture and then talk about what do we see on the table? What do you think this man is doing? How does it make you feel? Lesson 2, it's set up the same way. Map it, draw it, trace it, and then an interesting fact. Bible. Okay, so this is the art, the craft. We're gonna learn about cranberries. I'm just gonna keep flipping through so that you get an idea of what these pages are. Now, on lesson 3, this is where she wants us to bake something, which that will be really fun. And then here is lesson 4. Table setting, that'll be fun for the kids to learn that. And in the back, there are those thankful cards, hospitality plan. It looks like that's for lesson 4. And then name cards. We have quite a few of those, and that is all for that student guide. So let me flip through the early elementary guide. It is a little bit different. There's a more detailed coloring page as well as more detailed coloring on page 1 of each lesson. The maps are a little bit different. You're gonna have to write the country. And then spelling, you're actually writing on the line instead of just tracing. And looks the same here. There are different elements where you're going to draw and write, whereas in the pre-reader, that wouldn't be there. Copying a verse. So drawing on this cranberry page, I know in the pre-reader that was just something that you colored up in the corner. Keep flipping through here. And the appendix is the same as the pre-reader. Okay, and then upper elementary. There are minor details that are different in the upper elementary student book, and that would be the lines. The lines are different when they write out their information. You can tell that there are no dotted areas. There are pages that ask questions, so they're answering questions instead of just maybe drawing a picture or just saying it out loud. Let me just keep flipping here. This one's gonna be a lot quicker because you've seen inside of it. Now you're just seeing the difference between the different age levels. But the appendix is pretty much the same. It has these poems, and then it goes into those thankful cards, the hospitality plan, and the name cards. This is for lesson 4 as well. Okay, that is it. That is all that I have to show you for the Thanksgiving Gather Round unit. We are so excited to dive into this unit and start it. We are going to do a lesson a week, so I have to map out when we are going to start. Probably in a week or so, we will just dive in and slowly work through it so that we are done the week before Thanksgiving, because the week of Thanksgiving, I don't really want to do too much. We'll do light school, but I don't want to have too much to worry about. But I hope you enjoyed this flip and that you were able to see inside of this unit a little bit better. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. I will see you all on my next video. Bye.